this sector in prevention, investigation, arrest, adjudication, and enforcement is central to achieving this objective. We particularly focus on prevention. Accordingly, these efforts are geared towards improving road safety, reducing mortality and morbidity, strengthening compliance with the traffic and other laws, and ensuring offender accountability. However, despite all the efforts that the sector has put and interventions, road traffic accidents and fatalities, Your Excellency, remain high. I'll give a glimpse of what we have gone through recently. For instance, the financial year 2024-2025, 62,932 traffic cases were filed in courts. This comprised careless driving at 704, causing death at 787, contravening insurance at 3,509, county traffic rules violations at 69, driving under the influence at 2,991, obstruction at 6,917, violations of required speed limits at 556, and other offenses at 47,400. A similar trend has been realized also in this current year, where we have already registered 33,532. We realize many of these traffic offenses can be dealt with administratively, which means they can be removed from the criminal aspect of traffic offenses and be dealt with administratively. I'll be coming to that shortly. But I also wish to give Your Excellency the costs of these accidents. We have the Ministry of Health here, represented by the Director General of Health. The Ministry of Health tells us, and also the CS Health this year, the Ministry of Health estimates annual health care costs attributable to road traffic accidents at approximately Kenya shillings 48.5 billion, including emergency services, hospitalization, surgery, rehabilitation, and long-term care. Additionally, the average cost of treating a road traffic accident victim is estimated to be about 69,000 for moderate injuries and Kenya shillings 147,000 for severe injuries, with an average admission of 10 to 24 days depending on severity. We have not even gone to look at the socioeconomic costs of rehabilitating the victims of accidents and the time they lose from engaging in gainful work. During the 2025 festive season period, which attracted our attention, from the 16th December 2025 to 10th January 2026, we established 20 court stations to deal with the emergencies. A total of 1,978 traffic cases were filed during those 20 days and processed through multiple modalities. To support enforcement and prosecution efforts, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the DPP, deployed 36 prosecutors, the EACC deployed 70 officers, the NTSA deployed 121 officers. In 2025, a total of 5,000 road traffic deaths were reported 2025, compared to 4,448 in 2024, reflecting an increase of 261 fatalities. During the 2025 festive period alone, we recorded 415 deaths compared to 338 deaths in 2024 for the same festive season, that represented an increase of 77 deaths, or 23% increase. This rise occurred alongside a significant growth in registered motor vehicles. We saw an influx of registration of vehicles from 81,000 in 2024 to 182,000 in 2025, and motorcycles from 58,000 in 2024 to 150,000 in 2025. There has been exponential growth in registration of new motor vehicles on our roads in 1 year. So the aim of this engagement, Your Excellency, is against this backdrop that we at NCAJ are here today to engage with you on the need to, one, advance a whole government approach for addressing road traffic accidents and fatalities, also congestion on the road. We feel is a time we have a coordinated enforcement, adjudication, transport, and health services interventions across the relevant government agencies. We also felt the need, Your Excellency, to articulate before you the need for sustained high-level political leadership and seek executive commitment in prioritizing road safety as a crucial national concern that touches on governance, that touches on health and socio-economic development. Number 3, we felt we needed to mobilize an integrated and interportable ICT-based traffic case management system that links law enforcement and adjudication with the transport agencies. The need also to mobilize Your Excellency and the entire executive, the legislature, to support the enactment and amendment or operationalization of key statutory and regulatory instruments necessary for the effective investigation, prosecution, and adjudication of traffic offenses, and more importantly, prevention. Securing sustainable financial support to strengthen law enforcement and adjudication capacity in the justice sector. Your Excellencies, the following challenges affect the management of traffic, contributing to avoidable accidents and fatalities. The effectiveness of traffic enforcement and justice systems response is constrained by gaps in the legal framework. We are also limited by digital integration across institutions, resources and capacity limitation, and integrity challenges in investigation, prosecution, and adjudication. In addition, public conduct remains a significant concern, particularly the unruly behavior within the border sector. Political interference in the enforcement of traffic laws, especially in the management of border and PSVs, is a significant challenge. Moreover, inefficient emergency response systems in the aftermath of accidents, weakens road safety outcomes and accountability. Persistent funding constraints also continue to hamper effective enforcement and operations. Specifically during the festive season of 2025, the following operational challenges were encountered: unreliable ICT infrastructure, including poor internet connectivity and frequent power outages. Your Excellency, we also had delays in case registration at some court stations arising from procedural steps in arrest, processing, statement recording, and resubmission of case files, low attendance by accused persons which undermined the effectiveness of virtual hearings, incidents of bribery which compromised enforcement and accountability. We also recorded unconducive working conditions characterized by inadequate office space because we were trying to set courts along the busy roads where we had no furniture or reliable electricity and limited basic social amenities for the officers. Non-compliance with traffic laws and guidelines by a significant number of road users, operational coordination gaps, particularly in communication, case management, and synchronization of enforcement with the prosecution, the courts, and the police. So therefore, we noted there are justice sector and justice sector reasons that cause road traffic accidents, because road safety in our country continues to be undermined by weak enforcement of traffic laws, corruption, lenient penalties, and poor coordination among institutions, alongside gaps in post-crash response and victim support. These systemic challenges are compounded by unsafe driver behavior, inadequate driver training and licensing, the use of unroadworthy vehicles and deficiencies in road infrastructure, factors that disproportionately endanger vulnerable road users such as pedestrians and motorcyclists or other drivers who are on the right lane. Further concerns include unruly operations within the matatu and the boda sectors, vandalized road infrastructure, inadequate dual carriageways on major roads, weak enforcement of pedestrian safety rules, and driver fatigue. So, Your Excellency, we have some recommendations. We require strong political and leadership support in the management of the bondas and PSVs. This should also entail supporting measures to enhance the observance of the rule of law, and Your Excellency, also to address the challenges affecting the youth as manifested by emerging protests, especially at a time like this when we are nearing elections. Indeed, as the NCAJ, we convened a special council meeting in July last year in the wake of the public protests and unrest, and we gave the responsibility to the Kenya Law Reform Commission to lead in the legal reform efforts aimed at harmonizing public order management and freedom of assembly and protest. We also require a government-owned, integrated e-transport system linking the judiciary, NTSA, National Police Service, the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions, prisons, and other relevant institutions to be established Already, we have an integrated system between the judiciary and the ODPP, and we are ready to onboard others. Because such a system, with unfettered access and the use by the aforementioned agencies, will enhance efficiency and accountability across the justice chains. The system should be supported by deepened digitization of the justice sector through provision of adequate ICT hardware, reliable internet, and interoperability of information systems of all actors in the justice chain to support the e-justice and e-justice service delivery. Your Excellency, we are calling for fast tracking of the amendment of the Traffic Act to support the use of technology in the administration of instant traffic fines for minor offenses and demerit points on diverse licenses. We also call upon the priority consideration of the Penal Code and Criminal Procedure Code amendment bills currently in the National Assembly, because those ones will strengthen the administration of justice and observance of the rule of law and maintenance of peace and security. We also call for operationalization of the National Road Safety Action Plan 2024-2028, especially the establishment of the multi-agency steering committee and the county transport and safety committees. We should include key justice sector players to enhance coordination and enforcement. The Social Health Authority, through Emergency, Chronic, and Critical Illness Fund, should also empanel ambulances across the country for timely response and access to life-saving services for accident victims. We are also calling upon the enactment of the NCAJ bill to support coordination and continuous reform of the administration of justice. Your Excellency, we feel NCAJ has outgrown the space provided and the JS Act, and it is time now. It's a baby that grows and walks on its own. 15 years being nurtured by JSC, NCAJ should have its own bill, because this coordination is a huge mandate. The justice system is pivotal in ensuring reduction of crime, enhancing peace, and resolving commercial disputes, thus supporting entrepreneurship and investments, which are key ingredients for economic growth. This is why the NCAJ bill is urgent, because it touches on all the sectors of justice. It will provide adequate and sustainable financial support to NCAJ and the NCAJ committees on traffic reforms. It will facilitate continuous reforms, monitoring, and sector-wide coordination. Currently, the NCAJ is funded through a very small budget line from the judiciary, rather than through an independent allocation, and because of lack of funds, limits its operational autonomy and capacity to effectively drive justice sector reform. So we are calling also on strengthening of integrity and accountability mechanisms within the justice sector through increased support of the implementation of the justice sector anti-corruption strategic guiding framework to curb corruption in the transport and other sectors and enhance integrity and accountability. This strategic guidance framework is the outcome of the Committee of Harms meeting Your Excellency convened in January 2024, where we resolved that the NCAJ takes the reins on the fight for integrity within the justice sector. Therefore, Your Excellency, the various agencies have the guiding framework for the fight against corruption, and they have all been mandated to cascade what is in the anti-corruption guiding framework and implement that guiding framework within their organizations. We are also calling for sustained public awareness. This work cannot be won by the government alone, or government institutions and other actors alone. We need a sustained public awareness and structured stakeholder engagement to enhance compliance and overall effectiveness. Finally, comprehensive road safety education and sustained awareness campaigns should be institutionalized, targeting schools, public service vehicles operators, boda operators, and the general public to foster long-term behavioral change and safer road use practices. Your Excellency, we always talk about budget, and sometimes I seem like a broken record when I speak about funding, but it is included by these actors that the entire sector receives an allocation of Kenya shillings 198 billion against the requirement of 337 billion, implying a funding gap of Kenya shillings 131 billion. Most importantly, Your Excellency, the justice sector agencies need infrastructure expansion. The police stations, the prisons, the judiciary, all our infrastructure requires strengthening. Adequate financing to enhance service delivery, including the provision of vehicles, motorbikes, computers, and other administrative utilities should also be prioritized. Further, owing to the expanded demand for services by the public, additional support is needed to facilitate the recruitment of additional prosecutors, state counsel, probation officers, and children officers. In conclusion, Your Excellency, we want to assure you that the NCAJ stands ready to lead and coordinate the justice sector and to respond in partnership with the executive and with the legislature to ensure that our laws are modern, our systems are interpolable, our enforcement is firm but fair, and our institutions are accountable. With strong political will, sustained investment, and corrective responsibility, Kenya can significantly reduce road traffic fatalities and restore order and safety in our road. Thank you very much for listening, Your Excellency. I don't think we had an opportunity to hand over to you this anti-corruption strategic guiding framework for Kenya justice sector. And now that we are all here, allow me to present to Your Excellency a copy of this